The definition of screen, according to www.freedictionary.com/screen, it is a movable device, especially a framed construction such as a room divider or a decorative panel designed to divide, conceal, or protect. So I believe that what Edward Hall meant when he described culture as a screen for people who belong into that culture was that culture allows a person to use the senses to raise his or her awareness level. As I have said before, my family is country people, and although that is not really a culture in and of itself, it is quite a bit different from growing up in the city. I think my culture acts as a screen for me in that it makes me more aware of beauty of things other people don't pay much attention to. Like animals who provide food and beverages, and flowers and trees and green grass. I also know what it's like to run through fields barefoot and to have fresh homemade breads and home canned fruits and jellies. The smells of the country are wonderful, and I can notice the difference between city air and country air. So there are many things that I am aware of that others aren't aware of or take for granted. Between Hall, Hofstede, and Globe taxonomies, I believe that Hall explains cultural patterns the best. Hall explains that he believes every person has to deal with so many perceptual stimuli such as sights, sounds, smells, tastes, and bodily sensations. So culture acts as a screen to separate the person of that culture from those stimuli so as to strengthen the person's awareness. Hall also explains about high and low context cultures, and that in-groups and out-groups are very important parts of the context cultures. Hofstede, on the other hand, believes that people carry mental programs or softwares of the mind, which are developed throughout the person's childhood, and their culture reinforces it. Hofstede also talks about the 5 dimensions, whereas dominant patterns of culture can be put in order. The Globe takes Hofstede's approach and adds to it, but what it talks about that the other two don't is the performance, future, and humane orientations. These 3 approaches to cultural differences offer different viewpoints for people to take into consideration. I can't really think of any drawbacks to these 3 approaches. They are all different opinions, of the same thing, and I don't think you can place any drawbacks on opinions. I believe the meaning of I think, therefore I am is that I know I'm alive because I can think. And the saying, I am because we are, says to me that I exist because we exist together. Which would indicate to me that I didn't exist before we got together. Fred and Jane's marriage would probably be affected by these different beliefs. A positive aspect of these differences might be that Jane will not do anything in the marriage without first consulting Fred, and she will include him in everything, including conversations with family and friends, and she will not keep secrets from him. As for Fred, he believes he exists because he can think, so he will be confident in their marriage and will be an honest and loving, and will have an honest and loving relationship with Jane. However, a negative aspect of these differences may be that because of what she believes, Jane may appear to be a little clingy and will need to know where Fred is at all times. She may even be jealous if she sees him simply having a conversation with another woman, even a co-worker or boss. Because of what he believes, Fred may be narcissistic and everything has to be about him or he's not happy. If these negativities come to fruition, then they will probably argue constantly and the marriage will not last. If the positive scenario happens, they will live happily ever after, so to speak.